Hello, and we're back here with Inkpot, and I'm Grant Smith, and working on this character here. Um, it's the same day as the first video. Just couldn't stop playing around with this. Wanted to kind of see how that coloring would work. So I did a little bit of a test here, and I'm actually liking the way that the coloring is working for once and doing it this method. So we're going to keep on going ahead here, and hopefully we can get this to finished piece kind of along the lines of that. I did a little bit more work on the sketch here too. I just added a little bit more detail into the armor sections here. I'm going to have to probably do some changes though to what I have drawn into the forearm armor there, but yeah, so there we are. I'll continue on here. First thing I might do is this emblem here. Now the way I did that, I want to show on screen here, just so you guys know how. I just drew out half of the kind of emblem and then copied it to the other side. And I took that. Oops. I want to make sure I'm on the right layer. And then I did a little bit of a slant on it there. And I just kind of put it in place there. I also then went and did a different transform. I had that, and then I went to edit, transform, and mesh transform. And then I just gave it a little bit more of the round organic shape of the guy's chest. We ended up with something along the lines of that. So let's go back in here. Another thing I want to do is I feel like this isn't centered, so I got to bring that over a bit. I'm going to do this first, and then I'll I'm just gonna outline the emblem. Just so I kind of have it in there. All right, and then I can turn off the sketch layer. I can kind of make that work better. So he kind of has like almost like embossed in there. I'm just going to take a little bit of that light color. That's going to work on kind of highlighted edge around it here. Just parts where it's kind of going over the shape of kind of that stitching rim that we put on there. I'm just gonna that fit a little bit better. Or some shadow. Up there. Yeah, it looks a lot better. That might be a little thick on that side, but I'm willing to let that go. Kind of going up as high as they are on the other side as well. Let's make sure. Good highlight there. Edge of that. Cool. In here, I'm just gonna draw in where I think needs to go to first, and then go in painting there. I was just looking at it more and it was bothering me. Something's really bothering you like that, just it's probably a good indication that there is something wrong and you need to went in some. Also this light area in there, I don't know how light I will actually that. I'm getting kind of weird shapes now. Abdomen here, so I'm trying to fix that. And it was better than it was. I'm gonna kind of I want to too. I think that's a little bit better. A little flatter. I was going there with a little bit darker. I don't want to go too dark, so we're kind of got going on over here. But do it a little bit better. Smaller. Small. I don't know if the mic picked up my little like gurgle there. Sorry, I just ate something. So didn't want to eat it on camera. Probably even the most annoying thing. All right, so making that a lot more than before. Another thing is in my sketch here, notice that the handle doesn't need to actually overlap the body there. So what I'm gonna do is there and size sketch part that I have there and fill all that, which will probably help with the the silhouette of him a little bit. Can also define this a little better. Throw more in some little bit of folds and material, costume edges made out of. Pick up a little bit more light on the back side. And another thing is I want to kind of add a more of a sheen to this, more like a leathery look. Ways you can do that is I'm going to do it on a different here. Just gonna add in light shade. Just putting these kind of bright highlights in there. Spots. It's just going to help sell texture of some. What he's wearing is being smoother and glossier. You can see it's I'm pretty good at that. Now let's go a little bigger. Add a little bit glow to those sections. Okay. Glow a little bit. I can always pull them back a little bit. Opacity. I always also my blender to smooth out some of them. Spots I think it's maybe a little too much. Usually I'll do that more in the final stages, but this being my first time kind of painting this way of painting from light to from coloring grayscale or doing the grayscale before coloring. I maybe have to do some of that stuff design work than I usually would. We want to do a similar thing also on this section as well. Little sharper highlights in there. You can go in there with a pretty solid brush and spots. Add in the I always go in my blender, it up too. I just got to put some over here, and then I think it's pretty good for selling that kind of glossy look. You see, I kind of try to do it kind of in sections. That's more more the way you'll actually see it show up on your life. I don't want to have it like quite that latexy look that you can get with oh geez, why am I drawing a blank of the artist name? There are artists that do really well with pen and ink, and they'll go in there with super kind of super dark like super white highlights that are super solid as well. Do that for this. Some of those ways emphasize it even more than my one really does, but go off for a second. I can follow more the bicep up a little further. I mean, it'll be shaded by the section, but not maybe not quite as currently. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer for doing this kind of stuff. All right, back out to there. I'm just gonna merge that with the layer below. We'll go to about there. Merge that with the layer below. And now I can go there. Getting on the shoulder arm. Out some of those transitions. Hair back on. Kind of got this like armor that looks like bat wings almost. Might not do it quite to the detail level that Dave had examples, but there I'm actually using the blender to delineate the line better, as opposed to the opposite of where I'm softening up stuff. There I used it to sharpen up. Blenders are really useful tools. You gotta not overuse them and use them in the proper way. Now this is going to be in the same kind of color tones as this. Just have to make sure that I stick with kind of base. Just to indicate kind of edges are up here. Those are all going to be, sections are going to be highlighted anyways. I want to get those kind of in there. Just rough them in first. Edits actually. That's one thing I'm noticing of me working in this grayscale is I'm not quite getting quite as sharp of images as maybe I'm used to doing, but so far I'm liking it. See in the end. I like this style of painting or not. And a lot of the people who do paint in this way, they don't do it all the time either. So something to remember, you know. Because you're trying something out new and you like it, it doesn't mean you have to keep on doing it that way. You can always make change. I think some people fear that they'll lose their style by doing that, but really your style is just how you see the world, how you see light. Oh, you know, if Van Gogh never changed his style, I don't know if he would have been as famous. That realistic style he used to began with and compared to what he ended up with. I might need to move the reference a little bit closer for now. Just so I can see better what he did here. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to follow it completely, but I don't want it to be jarringly different. Come on, give me the dark color. Kind of has this. Oh, come on. Weird. Like, gotta be some sort of setting where it averages instead of grabs directly the color you're picking. That causes that. Color grabber is color. But sure exactly what's going on with that. You're getting kind of something there. This is quite different looking than his, but I don't know if I could do his this angle. Sometimes you gotta cheat it a little bit, make it a little bit different. You can see even he's got like a warthog looking face there on this one, and on this one it's not really that. Which I think with the character has got so many intricate details as this one, it's gonna kind of be how you gotta tackle it. Like I said, it didn't doing himself any favors with the things in here. There's a lot of intricate. Some of this costumage that like comics have gotten lately must be a pain in the butt for some artists, is that because of the movies and how intricate and making those, usually when they make them like costumes in the movies, they end up gaining like a certain level of detail to them, and then translating that into the comic after must be a pain. But for some artists working on something, I mean, if you're doing it one off, like a cover or something, then I'm sure it doesn't bother you. But I can imagine doing a full book. It's got a pain in the butt too. Like Black Panther went from one of the easiest characters to draw to being fairly intricate, if you follow the design of the movies at least. And I know they don't follow them exactly, but they do definitely have changed them to look more audiences. Having trouble with this? Oh. I mean, luckily it's kind of organic shape, so can't go too wrong with it, but deal with the organic looking shapes then something more structured like an Iron Man suit or something. That's a character too. You drew him like back in the day where you just made him shiny, even though it seemed like the robotic parts on him didn't really articulate. They just kind of um, mold in the shape of what your actual anatomy is. Kind of weird the way that used to be. Iron Man is more like a metal guy than Silver Surfer. A dude in a than looking like a dude in a suit. Yeah, doing that now is a big pain in the butt. I just more like that. Oh. Something I do lots. Copy, paste, go back to my reference layer, delete it, bring this all the way down, over drawing layer, merge with flow. Just something that happens. Oops. mock color layer there I did. I am very excited to once I get to the point where I do start coloring this, just because of what I tried in kind of the mock layer. I really thought was working really good. Still kind of this for now. Been there. Come on, grab the white. Not quite white, but almost. This here is garbage. We're gonna do that, so it doesn't even that too kind of creates a tangent. There. It's looking alright. Not really want it to, but keep working. I'm kind of losing that organicness of it. Also, we're gonna add in like shade from like the horns and stuff in after. Once we take that into account. Long hair here, and maybe we'll have some hair flowing there too. I'm not sure. That transition better. This section should feel bigger. Section below. Oops. Oops. All right, well, I think I'm gonna that, but here, copy and paste it. Scale it up. Not I want. One, I'm wondering. Take this. Okay. Start with there, merge there below. And we'll go in there. Try to make it together. It was better than it was, for sure. Great shading it. No color yet. Well, I'm gonna go something like that for now. I'm gonna keep kind of organic over softening. We wanna. Cool. Better. Still not the best, but boy, I didn't think it would take me an hour to do that, but cannot predict sometimes. I wanted to give a little indication of some sort of there. Let's do the pad on the other side now. Or no, let's do the gauntlet. Nah, let's be symmetrical. Probably should be doing that more. Cool. One I wasn't as about in the drawing, going quite an angle. Did. Size down. Some of this. Now, this is kind of ending more down in here in the side. I'm just going to take what's done here. Just going to rotate it a little bit. Down more towards. Okay, if it's pulled up a little bit, it's probably not as much as it was. Yeah, created it. That's why it's always I probably should have copied that and put it on a different layer. But when I had to fill in it. This actually edge should be more defined by its highlight than anything. Me putting in that shadow there is probably, but put not gonna worry too much about being symmetrical actually with this one. I don't mean in the piece overall, I mean in the armor. A little bit different, that's okay. It's organic. Different. At least that's what I'm gonna tell myself. Just a little bit of again a little. How where that's meeting. The shoulder's looking really bad right in here. Come on. Kind of like what I did with the last one here. Gonna grab more highlight again. All right, those might need work, but you know what? I'm gonna leave for now. A little bit of that other, maybe the Gauntlet. Just zooming in and out, just trying to see what I did and what I like and what I don't like. See if I'm getting into the weeds, as I like to call it, where you're spending all your time on stuff that no one's ever gonna notice. I'm wasting a lot of time. Something's worthwhile to worry about or not. You have the spirit of the gauntlet he drew. I just don't. Gotta be exact. You kind of had a warthog on the other one, so I'm just gonna kind of do something in there. That shape. Turn off that sketch layer. Kind of gotta make sure you realize what areas should probably defined by highlight and which should be defined by shadow. And get muddy looking. Might be like that for a while until it really when they're harder brush. Another thing I could have did was kind of got the main shape and did a global kind of like shading in and then went in with the dark after. It's probably the better method of doing it. Just gotten into the habit of doing this more. I'm drawing with pencil. The nature of the direction we're going with coloring this. In that way, it's kind of took me down maybe some roads that are longer too. Hopefully, and we'll get the result anyway. I really make it kind of too soft there in here. For like harder stuff like this, you tend to not use blenders and stuff like that, but I thought I would give it a shot. Should have known, but did know better and listen. Oops. You know what? I'm gonna back up here a bit. As much as I can go back. What I'm gonna do is I am just gonna take what I have done here for the sketch here, copy that, put it on a new layer, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint all this. it's one solid piece, and then I will go in and detail. I think I'll just get a better result. And we'll still go in and do all that detail. It's just we'll do it in after having kind of set the global tonal settings. Smoothing that out a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I kind of went from the just upper light to more of this light coming more from the left here, just slightly. It's still up high, but it's a bit more of a direction to it. Down. All right, so now if I turn that on, that is, oh, what is that? Apparently I was drawing on a layer that I already had something on. Oh no, I turned the wrong. Why? Ugh. Out for me. All right, so I'm just gonna delete that. Turn on my sketch layer. Work from there. I am gonna keep that on a different layer though here. And size down. Dark. You can see this this method does work a little bit nicer for certain things. Overlap there. It just means it's got it already has kind of a layer on there of kind of the tonal shift that it should have. That's really making the big difference in it. A little bit easier to define. Not really horns, it's tusks. Come on. Oops. And again, grabbed a lighter color. It's got to be averaging it. I just don't know how to. Sure, there is a way to that. I just don't know. It is. All right, so little by little, we're getting in kind of that line. You just won't have it etched quite as deep as probably it is in the original design. But we'll do our best. I want to make it look as good as I possibly can. Don't drive myself. Really liking. Probably go in there and find that with a highlight here. Better. Not really sure what he was with these. The Gauntlet. Okay. Healer bits. Reminds me of like the armor in Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, kind of. Do you see what I did there? Painted it on the wrong layer again. Jeez. I'm gonna have to copy this. Copy, paste it. Can't delete it from my sketch though. I'm just gonna have to that one with the layer below. And turn back on our reference here. Ooh, come on. Reference layer. What? Let's grab the gauntlet. Right. This way we can get a better idea of what's going on here. Oops, wrong layer again. I'm on the right layer. This actually has. Come on. Why is that not drawing? Ooh. Oh. On the right layer. Because I have a selection. Ugh. There's little stuff like that drives me nuts. Mistakes like that. So easy to make. Generally, I'd work on separate layers too. This would all be on a different layer. I'm not sure. The guy who I was watching on David Finch's channel there, I think it was Dan. Don't know why he was working on one layer. It didn't seem like he needed to all the time. He was mostly working in one layer, and maybe because David was working with traditional media, he didn't want it to be that far off from what he was doing with the traditional media. Not sure, but he started doing it this way. We're gonna continue. Going down with the ship with this one if it doesn't work out. So I have those going just a different direction, at least one design of him. Quite different in the other painting. But I don't think the other painting is quite as high def, at least the photo of it isn't. Can never get the right brush size in this program too. There's things that I love about this program, but things that irritate the heck out of me too. Makes me wonder if this is gonna be Dracula book. A different kind of take on Dracula. Just with the similarities I'm seeing to Francis Ford Coppola stuff. I'm not sure if he mentioned it. I haven't seen all episodes of that he's done, so maybe he has mentioned the title and name of this actual character, but I haven't yet, so. Really interesting stuff he's doing in the Gauntlet. Stuff that I don't know I'm going to do as well. Very intricate looking stuff in there. I'm just gonna kind of noodle around it and kind of my own thing for some of it here. Kind of like with it parts of the body there. I'm just going to add in greater highlight. To make it look more kind of metallic, or at least a hard surface. So go in there with that really hard, really bright. Oh. Control Z. That's been a real crutch though that I've got to get over from working digitally. When I do go work traditionally now, I find I still reach the Control Z everything, so something crutch that's not good to have. There's some crutches that you have as an artist that are actually not bad. Have pocket, get stuff done quicker. Shorthand is what it. Like I said it last. And develop your own. You kind of want a little bit of this to flow more like kind of like I did in here. You kind of want the highlights kind of go in a line a little bit. All right, since that's not going to be extremely shiny like metallic, that goes up there. This is going to be colored, like painted, basically. Alright, so I have a lot less detail than he has in his here, but I think it'll all work. And I'm just gonna turn off that layer. Cool. Now we got the armor done. It's the shoulder part there, and then we go and work the gauntlet on the other side, or we'll do the one more thing here. We'll do now this side. I had no idea what I'm doing with the gauntlet here. This is the inside of it. I don't really get to see the actual inside. So trying to make, what I'll probably do is I'll start off again with kind of shape here. I'm making these gauntlets a lot bigger and come up a lot higher on the arm than I believe the original has. On the original he's here, it's like a quarter of the way down his forearms. He also made these forearms really kind of long. His arm, he's got like a crazy call it ape index, where it means that your arms are extremely long for your height. I think he has something similar in the other one too. It's just more of that comic booky aesthetic of exaggeration of stuff. I probably have his arms maybe even running a little short, even though I'm exaggerated. They're more stubby looking. Oh, let's just get that in there. Turn the sketch layer off and do something similar to the way we did that. This one I'll be making up more. Gonna look. Mid-tone. That. Highlighted color there. And oops, too much. Well, and just blend it a bit. Gives us good kind of base from grab some. That. Sometimes things can come together pretty quick. That kind of like old fabric kind of look I'm getting there. But then he kind of has. Looks like they're little parts that are kind of reaching around the edge. So that's what I'm gonna do there. Oops. And oh, to be sure. On this side. Better to have this than that. But what I drew in there, I wasn't really all that happy with. So I'm just kind of winging it on this bit. Kind of want coming. And we can take a and make sure the 80 stick out on the other side too. It was a lot simpler than the other side. What I did. A little bit of shape to them. Just want to bring a little bit more form to that. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. They're really simple, but I think that's do for it. This is kind of more like a leathery fabric kind of thing going around that the gauntlet's kind of attached to. And I think that looks okay. I think the shape of this needs to be augmented a little bit better. Right, that's a little bit better. Might still need to work on that. Then that goes to cool. This shape is probably too. Put on my sketch layer. Kind of hand plate thing here. This one, I think, is a lot more straightforward. Kind of like handguard action. Getting webbed in between that. Now this, I'm kind of being very late with this. Not good. You can tell because I'm just kind of drawing it instead of painting it. I'm defining edges with just tone instead of, or with lines and tone. Probably means I need a break again from this bit. But I've been finding that my breaks aren't real breaks. Look at it for a long time and start making changes again. I want the whole process of working on that. About that. By that I mean you see me kind of using like drawing lines to represent stuff instead of like edges and stuff, instead of just letting the tone create those areas. This here to need all of this a little bit more kind of a flat looking spot right now. Grab a real soft brush here. Dark. Turn. Again. Bit big. Alright, well, that's gonna need some work for sure. But, what does he actually have in his gauntlet here? I never looked up close. It was similar. Has one more kind of ring thing there, and then it's kind of got these little, almost what it, they kind of goes right back to the edge. Do that. Could put a one more option in. Alright, looks better. Just adding that one next. Guess he put it there for a reason. Good one. That's definitely it. That bright. Cool. More web-like. All right. Besides this hand here, there's not really a lot of hard stuff in here left to do. So I am going to quickly just rough in the cape here. I'm going to do that actually on a different layer here. Not being too... want it to be... not adhering entirely to my lines, but cool. Like that. Lower the opacity on it, and I'm my eraser tool here, and we'll quicker if I use go tool. Won't be perfect, but I can fix up the edge. It is after. I need to pump that up to make sure interfering with anything too much. Okay. And I'm gonna merge that down. I can turn it off. And then oops. One thing to get delete is not delete stuff, it's other thing. Few there. There and there. Cool. So now we got, oh crap, did not realize that I missed some of that there. I'm going to have to redo. Control Y. Right. Just missed this here. I went to flatten it. Good. And check that. None of that. Oh, now I need to bring the opacity back up. Oh. Merge with layer below. And hold shift and there's a little tear hole. Background color. That. This down. May have went a little dark with that, but should I just do the hands and the sword and then and the swords? No, I think my wrist is bothering me. I'm gonna take a break and hopefully next one I will get the rest of the figure done. Then we can go back to fun stuff and coloring. Like I said, here's my coloring test. That's kind of the direction we're going to be going with it. Color. Yeah, well, thank you for watching and keep creative.